Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Life Unscripted. I'm very excited today because I have a guest um, who is, I find so fascinating. And I'm just really excited to get into it. The main topics that we're going to be talking about today will be dating and relationships and things of that nature. His name is Dustin. And the reason I'm having him on is because he has some polarizing, I would say, views on dating, and I respect it. I think it's great that people have different opinions on things, and I love that he and I have been able to have conversations in the past, just about dating, and I think it's cool that we have such differing opinions and also some similar ones. So, welcome to Life Unscripted, Dustin.
Happy to be here.
Are you nervous?
No, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
I'll go easy on you.
All right, thank you.
No, we'll get right into it because I already said this is gonna be a jam-packed episode. Okay, so I guess in a nutshell, I would love for you to explain, like an elevator pitch, if you will, what is your stance on modern dating to you?
Ugh. Um, what is my stance on it? As far as, I mean, I'm just trying to make sure I answer this correctly. Don't
What do
do
you
it.
think about dating? Right, I kind of knew that's where you were
Don't
going.
do it.
That's why I asked it.
Yeah, just stay out of it. I mean, I don't really unless it's incredible, it's not worth it. That's how I always
Okay, and
felt. So it's not even modern. It's just like forever.
dating in general.
Yeah.
So you're not anti-dating, but you're anti-relationships. Is that correct?
Well, I'm not anti-relationship for everyone. I believe that there's certain people that can have successful relationships. I just think the majority of people can't, and they're not self-aware enough to actually sustain something long term. So I think unless you've done a ton of work on yourself, unless you understand the other person intimately, or if you're just checking off a list of boxes to make your, to work on, I don't know, some basic relationship, I don't think it's going to pan out for you. I just don't.
Right. Right.
I don't see
So,
that.
so was there like some pivotal moment or just a moment in your life when you started having this outlook on dating? Like, did you ever think differently about dating and relationships, or has this kind of always been your stance and how you're and
Always,
your feelings
always,
on it?
always been my stance. I'm a very observant person, so when I look around and I just watch the downfall of pretty much everyone around me, um, I watch. I just watch, and I'm just looking at I'm looking at my watch while I watch, and I wait to see when the end is coming, and it
Right.
typically comes, and or they stay together and they're absolutely miserable. That's not to say that
Right.
there aren't happy people out there that make it work, but it is like hitting the lottery. So I don't. I just look around and say, unless it's incredible, stay out of it.
Right. So, but do you have any friends or I mean, you probably have friends who are in happy relationships or marriages or no?
Uh,
Cool. I hope they're not listening. Um, so
um,
maybe do you think like
well,
your
let
judgment
me
is clouded?
let me put it this way. There's different types of relationships for different types of people. So if you're
Sure.
in a relationship that works for you, I'm never one to knock it. If I look at certain people that I'm like, all right, they have a great relationship, could I trade
Yeah.
places? And it's nothing against their spouse or anything. It's just
Sure.
for some reason or another, I can't be him, or I couldn't be with her if it just doesn't work for me. That wouldn't be it's not about choice. It just that it wouldn't be,
Sure.
it wouldn't work for me.
Right. Right. That makes sense.
But it
So,
works for them,
yeah.
and there's no, it's perfect.
Do you think your views on dating and relationships then have evolved over the years at all, or like truly this has been how you have thought about it since you understood what dating meant?
Interesting you asked. When I was no, seriously, I actually was going over some of my old. I used to write. I don't know. I had like assignments in school, and I had one where I wrote about relationships. I think I was in seventh grade, so I was 12 years old. I mean, this
Yeah.
goes back as far as I was 12, and it was. I don't remember I mean, maybe another episode I can read my 7-year-old
Yes.
handwriting if I can put it together, but it just kind of went over the hypocrisy
Mhm.
of relationships and how they're not really what they're chalked up to be usually. So I kind of
Right.
always felt this even as a kid, and maybe I don't know. I'm not sure why I was like that, but I've always felt that
Maybe
way.
you're born, maybe it's genetics, maybe this
Maybe
is
it's
just
just
how you're wired,
a wire
or you
loose. I
haven't
don't know.
found the one. Either way. So how do you then navigate when you're dating these girls and going out with them who, you know, the majority of women, especially you're you're 38, 39, 40?
38.
No, you're not 40, 38. Like you're at an age, right? And you're probably dating girls who probably either their biological clock is ticking or they just want a relationship at some point. Like, how do you up front from the jump tell them your stance on all this?
Their biological clock has exploded. No, um, they're I I actually don't date that much because I like to stay out of it. I mean I don't that doesn't mean I don't like companionship. I mean I'm just like not super into like dating or like I got a date lined up on Wednesday. It's not like I don't look at it like a date. I just don't
Right,
because I really
right.
don't typically care. Doesn't mean
Okay.
I can't, doesn't mean I can't love. So, I mean, I've been in relationships, I've been in love. It's not that I don't care. It's just that I don't, I think it's become more solidified as I'm getting older. Um,
Yeah.
Again, not totally against it, but as far as being upfront with people, I actually have been so upfront with people, like to the
Yeah.
point where it's like, I'm like, I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying. Like, and they're like, no, I get it. I'm like, no, you don't. Let me
Yeah.
repeat myself a few times. And they're like, okay, so you're totally messed up. Thank you. Now you understand. Now we can hang out. So I want to get to
Yeah.
that place before I see anybody, even casually, to grab dinner or drink because I don't, everyone's on their own time schedule. Everyone's looking for what are your intentions, and that's I don't want to mess. I don't want a headache that I have to deal with. Selfishly,
Right.
I also don't want to hurt anybody in the process. So
No.
it's both. It's really like it's a nuisance to my life to have to put out a fire I didn't need to create. So don't want to
Right.
do
And
it.
adding unwanted drama. I mean, look, I'll say just from knowing you, you're definitely not out there to hurt women. You're not out there to break someone's heart. You actually are incredibly honest. And like you're saying, you're very transparent about it. I'm sure what happens is a lot of these girls don't want to hear it, don't want to believe it. They think that they're going to be the one to change you. They think that they're
Yeah.
going to be the one to change your mind on this. And so I imagine that can get into like some sticky situations, correct?
Yes. To say the least.
Like,
Yeah.
so like girls end up upset or hurt. I mean, look, at the end of the day, like you can't deny that society and the media and movies, all of it, the world is built for couples. Like that's just how it's been for, right? So the majority
Yeah.
of people, I mean, I would venture to say, are looking for companionship or a partnership on some level.
Right. I don't think that that necessarily has to mean the perfect description of I'm not against, first off, I'm not against marriage either. I don't want to anyone to
Right.
understand, like it's not about that, but I'm just saying having companionship and getting married and having that person that's all in one everything for you, not saying it can't happen, but that doesn't mean that you can't have companionship without that. So
Sure.
it's just everyone's definition is different, and most people want all of that together, and that's fine. But look where most people end up. I mean, 52,
Right. Right.
and most of the rest of them are unhappy. And it doesn't mean that they're all unhappy, but
Sure.
most get divorced. Most are unhappy that don't get divorced. So there's a sliver of remainder
Yeah.
of people that are like, but no one gets married thinking it's going to happen to them. They're just like, oh, I'm so happy. But like,
Mm,
but here's the thing I say about divorce though, and I've like learned to understand that most people are dumb in general, right? So like most people are dumb. So when most people get divorced, I'm like, all right, that makes sense because they're not self-aware at all. They have no idea what
yeah.
they're doing. They're like, oh, they check the boxes. He's pretty, she's pretty.
Yeah.
He made me laugh. He has a job. He
Mm-hmm.
drives. Cool. Like I'm done. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like they like me. I'm signing up for it. I'm like, oh, that's it. So they'll do it. They'll get divorced, and they're dumb. So if you're an intelligent person, you understand yourself. You understand the other person. I think there's a lot more hope for you.
Yeah, I think though also like I got married when I was a lot younger. So if it was now 10, 11 years later, I mean, I'm divorced, as you know, if it was 10, 11 years later, who knows if that relationship would have started. So I do think there's some people that
Sure.
are just,
There's a lot
they
of
don't
growth.
know
Yeah.
themselves yet. Like my growth has happened, like emotional intelligence and whatnot. It's like over the last 10 years, I've grown a lot. So I do think
Right.
some people just don't know. And I don't, it's not their fault, but yes, I agree. A lot of 50, what is it, 54% now? I mean, the majority of marriages end in divorce. But you don't, like you said, you don't go down the aisle thinking you're getting divorced.
No, but but if you have a basic list of requirements and you just validated that you finally found those basic list of requirements and you found them while your time clock was ticking. I mean, think about that. The time clock is ticking and now you're in a rush. So not only are you looking for something special, but you're in a rush to find something special. So now you better hurry up. Then you hurry up,
Right.
then it explodes and you're like, "Oh, let me do it again." And you
Yeah.
know what the rates are on the second marriage are like
Oh
70%.
yeah.
Then it goes
Oh
to
yeah.
80, and then you might as well
Yeah.
just,
You
if
might
you
as
have
well
any
just die alone.
if you have any money left, like, you
Just
know,
adopt a dog. So
adopt a
what do
dog.
you do if you're like family or friends or even the girls you go on dates with or whatever it is? How do you respond to the pushback on this? Like people who just wildly disagree with you because you have friends who are married and all that.
Well, but some of my married friends totally understand me, and some people. The one I hate the most is, I'll tell you this: you just haven't met the right one yet. That's the one that pisses me off the absolute most
Why?
because that
Why?
person is so delusional. They don't understand me at all. They think they know me and they have no idea. Okay. It has nothing to do with meeting the right person because it's a choice. Being together with someone is a choice. Being without someone is a choice. If, you have 8 billion people on planet Earth and you're saying, I'm going to pick you because I love you. Okay, fine. Do it. It's your choice. But they're like, you just haven't met the right one. You think that I couldn't find someone just like you did to spend the rest of my life with? You think it's because of the
Yeah.
person? I've met
Yeah.
unbelievable people,
Mhm.
unbelievable, that have changed my life totally, that I still love. I'm you think that I couldn't be with them?
Right. No, it's a good point. It's a choice you're
And
making.
and then and then they act like no, but when you know, you start drooling all over. No, no, no. Listen,
It's not
it,
like that.
it's not like that at all. It has nothing to do with that because the best person on planet Earth could fall into my life, and if I'm not open to it, it's never going to happen. So don't say that.
Yeah.
Don't say
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Fair. So no one asked Dustin that, or no one tells Dustin that. So do you think, like in your gut, like you obviously are very self-aware, you know yourself very, very well. Do you feel in your gut that one day you will end up settling down with someone, or 0% chance?
God, who's watching this? No,
Well, and
no,
you
I'm
can't
kidding.
play psychic, but as of today, do you think you will ever? This could change in 5 years, whatever. But as of today, do you think you'll ever change your mindset on it?
No,
No. And okay.
I do not.
Like, and you're secure in that, just in that choice. I just actually read the book. Have you heard of the book Attachment or Attached, about attachment styles: secure, avoidant, anxious?
I'm
You
a
know what I'm talking about?
fearful avoidant. I'm the worst kind, and we're the
Yeah,
most
I was just
rare.
gonna
Yeah, so there's
I
like
was
really
just gonna say.
they actually made our own category at the end because they were like, wait, there's people that are more messed up than the ones we have. Let's put them in their own
Yeah.
separate space. That's me.
Did you
They're only
yeah.
like 4% or 3% of people.
Did you read the book though? You know what I'm talking
No,
about?
I haven't read the
Oh,
book, but I've
but you're
watched endless stuff. But you can flow through attachment styles with work. It's not like you're doomed if you have one or the other.
right.
But yeah, but it's
But you're like hardcore, but because at one point, as we were talking, because I literally just finished the book, I'm like, oh, he's secure attachment. No, 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 you are avoidant, sweetheart. You are avoidant. Like you could teach a class on it,
yeah.
and that's not a bad
Well,
thing. I mean, it has its
well,
positives
the
too.
thing is like I've learned that if you don't have like I've challenged. I've gone through a lot of therapy, and I've challenged everything that I've done, and it does bring you to a point because the person that I am today is definitely not the person I was 5 years ago. 100 million%. I'm totally different. I'm totally self-aware. I used to do things that I thought I liked, but I was only doing them for other reasons, and now I'm like, wow, I don't even know why I was doing that. I'm not even attracted to that anymore. So it's not that. It's just more like you can get to a certain place to understand yourself better, but you have to come to like some level of acceptance of who you are because it's a constant like tug of war for me, maybe not everyone, but in my head of like trying to get better. But why does it always have
Yeah.
to be get better? Like, why does it have to be the norm that I am like everybody else?
Sure.
Why does that mean I'm better if I become that way? And I've been tired of trying to fight that for a long time. but it's not because. But when you say, "Will you settle down?" I don't want to say settle down. You didn't say that. When you say, "Would
Like,
you ever change your views?" I might. I mean, I don't. I still value relationships. So like, it's not like maybe it's not in the conventional way of like, "Hey, honey, I'm home," you know,
right,
and
right.
like you're like, "Oh my god." Maybe that's not me, but I
Yeah,
also, I'm not against like being close to someone. It's just not conventional. I'm not into the swinger lifestyle. I'm not into polygamy. I'm not into any of that either. It's not like, oh, maybe there's another option. No, that's not an option. But it's just I'm
right.
not conventional.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, would you be open to an open relation? I know you said no polygamy, no, but would you even be
No
open
way.
to an open relation? No. So
No.
it's really not. It's not that you want like to have five women at a time. It's not. You just the conventional quote conventional type of relationship is not for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's look if if I evolve in a way that changes, I'll be the first to say it. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not the person that I don't think it's anyone that I've come across that like wasn't incredible because like I said, I've come across incredible people. I just feel like that the way a relationship evolves for me turns into something that I don't like, and I don't want that. And I don't. And some people value that. I don't think it's exciting to go on 21st dates and be like, "Oh, I don't know who they are. It's exciting." I don't really find it exciting either. Nothing about the new or the old is exciting to me. I don't get
Yeah.
excited about anything. Like it's very strange. I don't very get excited, but I just think that like after, but
So,
but I but I do get excited about just enjoying the moment and having fun. And that doesn't mean sleeping around. It just means like stop putting labels on it and stop asking what intentions are and where are we going and what's happening and what's like everyone wants to be somewhere and no one wants
it
to
is.
enjoy the moment and they're just like, oh,
It's
leave you behind. Okay, have a good time. Let me know when you're divorced. Have a good time.
let me know when you're divorced. But you bring up a good point. Like it's, and I'm guilty of this, like not being able to, I'm working on it, but be in the moment and stop putting expectations on things. So speaking of expectations, I want to ask you about that. Do you think one of the downfalls of relationships and dating in general is people having these expectations because of society and your friends and what you see makes you think like, well, yeah, if we've gone on 3 or 4 or 5 days, we should be exclusive. He shouldn't be sleeping around. Like
Well,
expectations can be bad.
yes and no, because I think that like if you really want something and you have a vision for your life, just like someone going through college, like I want to be a doctor, as a young age, you want to be a doctor or you want to be a lawyer, you want to do something and you know that. Like I want to be a mother, not me. Some
Yeah.
girl, I want to be a mother. Okay. So if some guy is going to be wasting your time, but here's the thing. If you're going to be a mother, you need to be self-aware enough to know that a man is wasting your time. So I'm tired of seeing people going in and out of relationships like he said he was looking for this. I'm like, you can't decipher through his actions, through what he says to you, but you're going to go raise a kid. Like you can't figure it out. And I
Well, he
see,
might be lying.
well, okay, fine. He could lie, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of people that are they're lying to themselves. And if you don't get that wholehearted commitment, then you are wasting your time if that's what you truly want. So don't waste your time. Don't go chasing after a bad guy, bad boy, if you want to get married to a good guy. But just for a little bit, oh, let me just waste 6 months of my life. Okay, that's
I see.
exciting. Now the good guy is going to wife you up when she wants a bad boy. A whole nother story. Point being is, why do that? Like you should know the difference.
Yeah. Well,
As,
sometimes it's hard to know. Guys can, not saying girls can lie too, but guys can manipulate a situation. So are you saying that if like a guy goes on a date with a girl on that first date, the girl should say, look, I'm looking to have kids. If you never want kids, we shouldn't continue.
no, that scares the hell out of anyone. Don't say that. Do not say that. No, and that's happened to me before. Don't ever say that. Um, Terrible idea. What are your intentions with me? Stop.
But
Just
what if it's a deal breaker? What if she is
then
dead set?
figure it out on the second, the third, or the
Yeah,
fourth.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. I mean, to start saying what are your that there's nothing that
yeah,
scares. I mean,
yeah.
maybe it's just me. I'm sure
No,
other
no,
guys agree with
I
me.
get it. Yeah.
Any guy in the dating world has been told, "What are your intentions with me?" And you're like, what is this? Like a science
I don't like
experiment? Like
that question. Yeah, I don't like that question.
it's
That's just
weird.
an odd
It's
question. So,
weird. Like
yeah,
you're not an object. You don't want to be an object. You're pretending to be a human. continue on and not discuss my intentions until we figure out if we even like each other.
Right, that's the thing, because the first date, you know nothing. So what are your intentions with the person? You don't know. But I do think, like, in that book Attached, there was a part about communication and saying, like, on the first date, if you know you want to get married and have kids, you should make that clear, because if he doesn't want that, you guys should. But I'm like, whoa, that is like jumping 18 pages ahead. Like, let's take a
I
moment.
mean, look, there might be some. I'm sure that there are guys out there that want that level of intention
Mhm.
disclosed. Some of them, but if you're talking to someone like me, I'm the worst person to say that to, because that just literally is like, I'll never see you again. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you said. I don't care how much fun we had.
Yeah.
You said that, I'm out. It's like I'm on
Yep.
Shark Tank. I'm out. Like, for that
You're
reason, I'm out.
done.
So I'm
For
done.
that
Like,
reason,
you're not even gonna
yeah.
you're not even gonna let a single date progress into anything. You know, it's just like, I mean, where is it really gonna go for me? But my point is that we're not even gonna. I'm not gonna see you again. And there's a lot of guys I
Yeah.
think that are gonna be freaked out by that too.
So I kind of feel like your perfect situation, if you will, is maybe going on dates, keeping it casual with someone who's very securely attached. You cannot be with an anxiously attached person. You
Oh,
need someone who is so secure in themselves and so secure with doing their own thing, being super independent and having their own life. I feel like that's what would work for you. Not to be exclusive, but someone you could hang out with a good amount of time.
right. It's not about, like, when I was younger, I used to think. I think a lot of guys think this way. It's not just me. It's not like I'm a special case, but I think guys think that they need variety or want variety. It's like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to settle down. But I think they're just not. They don't understand. Like, it's just that there's a lot of pressure going on, and they have to, like, figure out who they are and what they want. Like, for me, it's not about variety. It's really not.
Yeah.
And I think it's like a big come to,
Like,
whatever moment.
right, like, if there was someone you loved hanging out with, attracted to, loved conversation with, like, you would have no problem hanging out with them, I imagine, multiple times. You just, if it gets to the part where they want to be exclusive or define the relationship or whatever, that's where you're like, you're out. But if they can keep it
Yeah,
chill, I feel like you're down.
yeah, pretty much.
And
Yes.
keeping it chill, though, would you be with someone not in a relationship, but exclusively in the sense where you're not sleeping with other people, or you never want to, like, commit to that?
That's fine. No, no, no. The
Oh, okay.
sleeping's fine. I
Okay,
mean,
okay.
that's not even a. I mean, especially for health reasons,
Yeah,
I don't want that.
right. Like, you're okay, that makes sense. So I mean, it's not like, I guess I started the episode saying you have these polarizing views, and I that was probably a little extreme, but it's more so that you know yourself very well, and you know that a standard typical relationship is not for you. Period. End of sentence. And
Yes,
there's nothing wrong with that, even though the majority of people out there might be different. And I imagine girls get hurt not because you're hurting them on purpose, but because they think they're going to be the one to change you. I mean, what girl hasn't been in that situation? I've been there.
I
So,
yeah, exactly. If someone says, a guy or a girl, I think a lot of people don't put enough weight on someone disclosing something, and they just want to put it on the back burner. But if a guy tells you, "Hey, I'm not really sure," but, take that. Just take that as exactly
yeah,
what he said, and don't
like,
try
yeah,
to flip it in your mind in
yeah,
imaginary fantasy land. Don't do it, because you're literally going to just hold on to that. You're going to waste all your time, and it's going to come back to haunt you. And same thing
yeah.
with guys, for girls. I mean, just
Hmm.
don't do it.
Take it
You
for face
know?
value. If someone's telling you something, believe them. Like, I mean, for the most part, like, if someone's saying, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm not looking for,
Yeah,
even if you don't want to believe it or accept it, you kind of have to. But
exactly.
it's hard, because sometimes you romanticize something that doesn't even exist. You like made these rose-colored
If
glasses.
you didn't do that, you might end up with the guy that you're thinking of, or the girl that you're thinking of. If you didn't go
Right,
wild in
right.
your head and get anxiously attached, what are we? What are we going to become? If you didn't do that, he might think, or she might think, they're not putting enough attention into this. I wonder,
Yeah.
maybe let's just keep hanging out and having a good time. All of a sudden, you're in one and you don't know what it is. Oh my God, could you imagine a relationship that you didn't have to label? Here we are, we're in love. Now, what
Yeah.
happens?
I mean, look, I've been there before where I got so anxiously attached and so insecure about things that it
You,
completely pushed the person away.
you're an anxious attachment style.
I'm working on it, Dustin. How do
No,
I
no,
fix
no,
it?
no. Mine's worse than yours. It's fine. I'm
I
saying
don't know. Anxious gets me in trouble, but I
it
am
depends.
working on being more securely attached because I think that's the goal. I mean, like to be able to not let another person's opinions or where they stand with you affect your self-worth. That's the dream. You know, you
Yeah,
obviously
it
have no
is. No
problem with that.
problem with that.
So what I mean, kind of a broad question, but what advice would you, I hate that kind of question, but what words would you give to people probably around our age, maybe little younger, whatever, navigating the modern dating scene now between the apps and all the different things? Like, what advice would you give about dating today? Someone who's trying to figure it out and having a hard time.
It depends what
And
you're looking for.
you can't say don't do it. You can't say don't date. I want real
No,
advice
I'm
now.
not. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
But it does. I think it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking to settle down with somebody, I think first relax. Just relax. I
Yeah.
mean, everyone understands that you are talking, or most people are talking to 10, 20, 30 people. It's become so routine that even if you're on a date and she's in the bathroom or he's in the bathroom, you're
Yeah.
responding to 15 other people the exact same time. You can't even notice
I
what's in
know.
front of you.
Yep.
So it's terrible all around. I think that, I'm 38. How many first dates have I been on? I don't know, 1,000? I don't know.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
I don't know. Don't like most people. Try not to like most people. That'll help you because most people you're not going to work out with anyway. So be very selective because most people are not for you. Um, think, if you're eager to get somewhere, like I said, relax. Just relax and
Relax.
and try to pay attention to what's in front of you if you care. If you don't care about being with somebody, then pay attention to everyone that's in front of you and have a good time. It doesn't whatever you're looking for, but be honest because I think being honest, even though someone may get caught up in, imaginary fantasy land of whatever it might be, at least you
Yeah.
can always fall back and say, look, I said this from the beginning. The problem is that if you say something, let's say you both agree to keep it casually. I won't
Mhm.
elaborate on this too much, but if you both agree to keep it in a certain place that isn't a romantic relationship, you can't hang out with them too much. So don't make that mistake because
Right.
there is no two people that can just hang out all the time and you're just not going to call it a relationship. That's fine, but it will be a relationship and you will see her cry or maybe
Yes,
him.
exactly. To one of
It's
you. Right.
one of you is going to cry and say,
Right.
"What is this now?" So make sure
It's
you understand what
hard.
you're make sure you understand what you're doing. There's no platonic sex that happens 3 to 4 times a week and you also ask how their day is. Don't ask how their day is.
No.
Don't do it.
No.
Don't
Well,
do
and
that.
especially I what is it? Recently I was talking about this. Need sex. Wait, girls need sex to feel close. Guys have sex and feel closer. Am I saying this right? Do you know what I'm talking about? Does
I
this
don't
make
feel
sense to you?
close at all when that happens.
Oh, okay.
So,
You are an
so you're
anomaly,
asking
though.
you're asking the wrong guy. But
Like, I feel like girls in general, when they're intimate with someone, I'm just speaking to heterosexual relationships right now because that's what I know. But girls, when they are intimate with a guy, I feel in my past experience, it brings you closer. And for a guy, I feel like they need the intimacy, like the sex, to get closer to the girl.
here's one thing I want to mention, and this could go down for all the guys out there because guys, well, actually, even girls too. The ego is a very important thing when you're dealing with sex and stuff because a lot of times guys, and I'm sure girls too, will have sex to boost their own ego, and that's crazy to me. And I didn't know that that was a thing, but I
Mhm.
realized through like therapy that that's a real thing. And it's like it has nothing to do with the person at all. You don't even like the person, but you're like,
No.
oh, they're hot and they like me. And that's
Yeah.
pathetic. So now you're sleeping with someone because you think that they're validating you. So you're going to go do that because that brings you up. You need a therapist, but you're going to get sex. So, I mean, wow,
External validation. I
the
mean,
hot guy picked me. I must be
yeah.
special. That's it. That's it. Oh, wow, I'm sleeping with a
Yeah.
hot girl. I'm special.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
it's just
look, I mean, sex, intimacy, it's what, doesn't it release endorphins or something, serotonin levels? I don't know the physiological part of it, but I also think that external validation is huge, and not necessarily in a good way,
No,
but
no,
that's
exactly. I just think that you like if you're seeing somebody or if you're attracted to somebody, I think it's important to look at why. Because
yeah,
if you're not,
yeah,
if you're like, well, I met this really cute girl, she's really cute and she's hot, and I met her at the bar and blah blah blah. Okay, great. Okay, but okay, so do that. Do if that's not out of your system or you're still doing that, but you want a girlfriend, that's a problem.
right.
That's
You
a and
gotta
then the same thing
right.
for girls. I mean, they're still chasing the guy with tattoos and a beard. I mean, nothing
Hey,
against them.
I like tattoos and a beard.
Of course you do. Here's my point. Here's my point. No, it's fine. But I'm just saying, like, if you're going after a bad guy, bad boy, and you want to get married, what are you doing? What are you
Well,
doing?
not all tattooed bearded guys are bad.
No, no. I have
Oh,
friends
okay,
with
okay.
tattoos and beard. I'm just
Yeah,
saying, like, and maybe I'll get a sleeve next week. My point is, and I'm still a good guy. But my point is that if you're going out and you're meeting someone and you're just attracted because they're hot and you met them and you're like, oh, it's mysterious and you just and that's it,
yeah,
and then you hang out a couple times and it's not like that's longevity. What are you doing? You're gonna tie
right.
yourself up for 6 months. You're gonna be excited, yay, and then you're gonna get married
Yeah,
to some basic guy and you're gonna fantasize
yeah,
about the guy that you met at the bar. So why aren't you
yeah,
just be single? Just be single.
yeah. It's like that show I think we've talked about before, Sex Life, where she ended up with the really nice guy, the wealthy man, lived in Connecticut, but she always dreamed about the guy she had the best sex
Well,
with.
this is what I've
But
been saying forever.
I
It's totally pointless.
know.
You got married couples at home. They're throwing porn
Yeah,
on
yeah,
every single night. Like, oh, I wish in my fantasy land. And
yeah,
then what are they doing? Don't
yeah.
understand it. I don't get it.
It's
See,
no,
that's why I stay out of it.
and right, but
That's it.
you still have a good heart. You still don't want to hurt anyone. You still are
No, I
very
don't want to hurt
honest.
anybody.
And so that it's, and I honestly think what it comes down to, a woman, like speaking from a girl's perspective, it's that if a girl goes out with you and thinks you guys click, because look, you're personable, you're attractive, whatever, like girls are going to be butt hurt, for lack of a better word, when you're like, I don't want a relationship, like I'm not going to get in a relationship with you, but we
Yeah,
can hang out, and it hurts, but be honest with
it's
yourself.
it's weird because when like a lot of guys will play games, girls will play games too, to act like they don't care. You know, the dating. I'll wait an hour to text back. I'll wait 3 days. I'll do all the games that people play. But like when you truly, like in your heart, no game, don't care at all, it's incredible how many people want you to care. It's amazing. It's incredible. It's
you
it's
like you like not emanate, what's the word, like you give off this confidence, this energy that people can
I
literally
don't
sense.
think I'm special for it. I just simply don't care.
No.
It's just
Yeah.
it's wild that like people are so intrigued by what they're missing or lacking to get that person that doesn't care to care. That's your problem. I'm not
Yeah,
intriguing because I don't care. I shouldn't be intriguing because I don't care.
but that's
I
why
should
you're intriguing.
I
That's
should
why
be a
you're
red I should be a red flag
you're
instead. And you're sitting here like, oh, I wish you would show me something. That's it. I mean, that's your problem.
yeah, yeah,
You should
yeah,
eliminate me off the bat and say, wow, I'm looking for a husband that's totally
but
basic.
that's what girls are literally attracted to. When
Well,
you
then
say
why would
no,
I
they
ever
want it
marry you?
more.
Then why would I ever
I
marry
right,
you?
I
What are you,
agree, but that
nuts? I'm
I
going to
know,
marry a
right.
girl and make her my number one. She's going to be into mystery the whole time. Think about that. Why would I do that?
No, no, yeah,
No,
no.
no.
And I don't think any of this, would you say, I mean, obviously you're going to say no, but like, yourself well, I think you'd be honest. Do you think any of this is, obviously some people might perceive it as cocky, but do you think of yourself as a cocky, arrogant person, or not at all?
Not at all.
Yeah, I don't either.
Not at
When
all.
I first met you, I might have, but then when I got to know you, I'm like, he's actually not that arrogant, like
If
at
any,
all. Like,
I've been insecure most of my life. Like
yeah,
I'm sitting there saying it on a like a video Zoom session. I mean, I'm not cocky at all. I mean,
yeah.
I'm just saying that like I know what people react to psychologically, and I just think
Mhm.
it's funny to me that like I I I just think it's all messed up.
Yeah, bottom line. Okay, before we finish this conversation, I have some rapid fire ones, which I don't even know if they're rapid, but we're gonna go quick. Okay, describe. This is funny.
Oh boy.
Describe your ideal date in 3 words? First date. What would be ideal date? 3 words.
My first date, ideal date?
Yeah, like your ideal date in
Um,
3 words. How would you describe it?
not there. I don't know. That's 2 words.
No, that's 2 words.
I
Like,
don't
like,
know.
like,
I don't have an
um,
ideal date.
okay.
Just
So,
just have fun.
okay,
Just fun. Honest fun.
fun.
Have a good time. That's it.
Yeah, like no
Nothing
pressure.
crazy. No pressure.
Yeah. Okay, then if you can say this or even remember, what's the most memorable first date you've ever been on? And like what made it that way?
I mean, I'm not going to share her name, but
No.
it was one of my ex-girlfriends, and it was just incredible conversation. It was just super intelligent, um, just connected like that. That's it.
Yeah.
It was
Like
it
nothing
wasn't.
fancy or special.
No, it was actually just drinks, and it was just a couple drinks, and that's it. But it was just
Yeah.
great connection. Yeah.
Love that. If you could write a dating rule book, maybe you should, what's one rule you would include that most people wouldn't think of?
Oh my God. These rapid questions are just horrible.
They kill
I mean, I
you,
mean, they're,
but
they're good, but like, I have no answer. One thing that I would include to
like in a
not do
dating
one
rule
date.
book. Yeah, just like if you were to write a rule book on dating, modern dating, what is a rule you would include?
Um, be you.
Be
Just be
you. I
you.
like
Be
that. That's so
you. That's it.
simple. Yeah,
It
but
sounds
it's hard for
simple, but
people.
everyone's
Yeah,
everyone's pretending to be somebody else. So,
it's true. What's a dating trend or term? And I'll give you a few examples that you think's overrated or misunderstood. I'll give you a few just to like get your mind thinking. Like love bombing, breadcrumbing, ghosting, like things that like Gen Z has thought of. Like, are there any terms or things that you just think?
wait, wait. What's the question again? I just got lost in you're like, oh, go ahead, say it
I
again.
don't know many of the terms. What's a dating trend or term that you think is overrated or misunderstood? And I was giving you examples like if you've heard of love bombing
Oh,
or
oh,
breadcrumbing.
oh. Well, I don't think love bombing is misunderstood. I think it's a very weird thing that people do.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I think ghosting is misunderstood. I think everyone deserves I think people deserve respect, but you have to understand that in a world where you're talking to so many people, if you are, I'm not. But my point is in a world like that, you're going to have to ghost lots of people all the time. And people that are secure enough to understand that not everyone will be for everyone. It has
Mhm.
nothing to do. So the insecure people will say, "Oh, it must have been the way I dressed, or I didn't look right that night, or
Yeah.
well, who's he out with? She's not as pretty as me, or she's prettier than me. That's why he went with her." All of those could be true, and all of those could not be true. And she could be talking to her ex again. She could have met a guy a week ago that love bombed her. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
So my point is that don't take it personally that everyone is not for you, and
Right.
ghosting isn't nice if you respect the person. But if you went out on one date in modern dating,
It,
I think it's nice to say, hey, like, I mean, what do you really want to say? Like, hey, sorry you weren't for
it,
me. I mean,
no.
it's just disappear. Just disappear.
Exactly.
It
If they
should be a
ask
new
though,
rule.
answer. If they ask, I think you should answer. There was a guy way back I went on like 2 dates with, and I just wasn't feeling it. And he asked, he's like, "I thought we clicked. What happened?" And I was very honest. I'm like, "I don't see a romantic. Like I think you can be honest without being
Right.
rude."
But okay. But some people are total assholes, whatever. They won't even show any respect. But then there's other people that are intuitive to the other person's personality, where they
Yeah.
know that girl will just be like, what is that supposed to mean? And like,
Yeah.
listen, if I go out on a date with somebody, now I have to deal with unwinding what I just did by like
Yeah.
explaining that
Yeah.
we're not supposed to be together because I don't feel it, and then she's gonna flip on me. So, and guys too, like if she disappears, yeah, if you want to text her a month later and see what she's doing to see if maybe oh, I don't know, I'm bored, I'm broke up with the last guy. It's like, fine, probably happened. She probably did break up. It's gonna happen eventually. My point is,
Yeah.
do it like that, but don't be like, oh, I thought we had something. I thought I like Who you
Yeah.
talk? I guess you're talking to 20 people.
No,
He is. It is what it
passive
is.
aggressive. That's
It's
just
just
immature.
it's just immature. So kind of just let it go. But I think that that's misunderstood. Like the ghosting thing, because I think like if you've been out with more than once, you owe an explanation. You owe a text at least. And if you've been out with
Yeah.
once, as long as she's not crazy or he's not crazy, explain yourself. But don't just block if they're wild about it,
Yeah.
because everyone should
I've
just
done that. Yeah.
understand. If they can't
It's
understand
fine.
why I didn't feel it, then I'm not gonna you take time out of my life that I've already had to go on a date with you. I'm just not gonna speak to you because it's
Yeah. Fair.
you need to
I
understand
agree
that
with
going
you.
there. Right.
Okay, Rat, I know we have to have a couple minutes. What's a quirky or unexpected quality you find attractive in a girl?
Um, unexpected, unexpected trait, you say?
Or quirky, like something, yeah. Or what do you find most attractive in a girl? I know what you're gonna say.
I would say sense of humor. I mean, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not that serious. I mean, it's
Not
pretty basic,
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, intelligence, sense of humor. I mean, those are like my two.
the two. I was gonna
You know,
say for you, I thought you were gonna say confidence, but I guess it all kind of like
well, yeah. I mean, I think, if you're intelligent and have a sense of humor, I feel like you just have to be kind of confident.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
I was
kind of
describing confidence though. I think
yeah.
that's attractive.
Okay, and if you could give yourself, your younger self, younger Dustin, one piece of dating advice, what would it be?
I'm gonna say, well, no, it's tough. I was gonna say be honest, but I was as honest as I could be for the time. It wasn't like I was trying to deceive, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It was I say just
Maybe no.
I think I would have just gotten the dog like years ago, hung out with the dog more,
All right, I forgot your dog.
to be honest with you.
Okay, and then I asked everyone on Life Unscripted this question because Life Unscripted is all about like, in my life has not gone as planned, and it's better, but embracing the unpredictability of life. What does living a life unscripted mean to you?
What does that even mean? Unscripted. Sorry.
Come
Could
on,
you,
you're smarter than like unscripted means like unplanned, like when unpredictable things happen, curveballs get thrown your way, like living a life like, in my mind, for example, I planned I'd get married, probably have kids, da 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 da. I ended up getting divorced. I ended up moving a bunch of times. My
oh,
career path has
okay.
been linear. Yeah.
Well, I am a control freak for myself. So in my own life, I over manage and try to reduce any risk that may come my way in every single way possible. So I do live my life scripted for me. When I have other things that
Mm.
are coming into my life that are out of my control, um, I try to avoid those things because I can't control them. So that's my thing. I try to just stay in my little thing, in my bubble, so I can control everything that goes on around me.
So you
And
focus on the things you can control, like that. Your priority is to focus on the things you control, and the things you can't control, you kind of just have to let pass you.
well, you have to. I mean, you can't. Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
working on it.
I have a lot of anxiety. I've had worse anxiety as a child, so I think it's just you have to let go of the things you can't control, and just. I mean, I should probably even let go of the things I can control a little bit because I do too
I
much.
mean, I'm like in my therapy sessions, that's one of the main things I talk about. Like, how do I just focus on the things I can control and stop letting the things I can't control overpower my brain? So that might be the next episode.
Good luck with that. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
38, haven't figured it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, I usually say like, where can people follow you? But I assume you don't want me to give out, and you're not really on social media anyway. It doesn't matter.
No,
Okay.
I don't want
Okay. So
to.
if someone really wants to talk to you, they can message me. But otherwise, thank you so much, Dustin, for being on. I kind of want to have you back again, which I'm sure we will do that. But I appreciate your honesty, your candor, and I don't think you'll get slaughtered on this one. You were good.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, I'm
Thank
glad.
you.
I'll talk to you later.